Hi everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Aussie Max Zone. That's right, get ready, get yourself into the zone. The Aussie Max Zone. Its bandwidth is brought to you by aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. So if you're after a nice little professional fast server on Australian soil, go and have a look at the nice affordable plans down there at aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. Go and grab yourself one. And also the show is also sponsored by IT Help for You in Penrith, and we're going to hear about them a little bit later on. They're going to give away iTunes gift cards, so stay tuned for those. All right, you can listen to the Aussie Max Zone on iTunes. Just search for the Aussie Max Zone, and video is also available through iTunes now, so you can watch it on your Apple TV or wherever you want, YouTube, wherever you can want to put it. You can get us. So iTunes video and also the YouTube video. You can also you can like us on Facebook. You just like us over there at facebook.com Aussie Tech Heads, or you can, if you want, get us on the YouTube at youtube.com/Aussie Tech Heads and just search for the Aussie Max Zone videos. All right, good stuff. Now we better get into the host. We're one short tonight, but that doesn't matter. We've still got heaps of news, and we've got a few good little apps and tips to bring you this episode. So let's go down over to Adelaide and welcome Jason. How you doing, Jason?
Well, hi Glenn, hi Garth, and yeah, another chilly evening here. Guess it is winter after all, and we had a rather wet weekend, so plenty of time to stay at home in the weekend and do some stuff on the Mac.
That's right, good stuff. Now, for those of you watching on the video, you will see that the video titles have been produced by you, Jason. How'd you go with those? You produced them on a Mac?
Certainly, we couldn't do anything else. That would be sacrilege.
That's right. It
wasn't on a Mac.
And what did
Apple Motion we used. So, look, I guess that's one of the Apple professional titles, along with Final Cut Pro, Compressor, and a few others. And yes, it's only a few years ago, those things were maybe thousands of dollars, if certainly not hundreds of dollars. And that's now $50 from the App Store. And look, I'm still getting my head around it a little bit.
Oh, they're pretty full on.
We'll, I think it's a little bit like Adobe After Effects, which I think is your
yes, that's what I've been
program
using.
choice, isn't it, Glenn, for that type of stuff?
So far, that's right. And so you're done well. Good stuff. And also, Home Sweet Home is Garth. Hey, Garth.
Hey, Glenn. How's it going, man?
Yes.
How's it going, Jace?
Not too bad. So you've come back down from your wanderings up north, and you've settled back in, and the weather hasn't been too bad for you.
No, it hasn't been too bad. Although I hear I missed quite a lot of filthy weather while I was away. Thank goodness.
Yes.
But come back to quite a chilly day today. I don't know. It's freezing my proverbials off.
Oh, that's no good.
So you've had to wear a jacket this week, Garth.
I did.
Yes.
I still got out on the barbecue and cooked up a nice big Greek lamb roast thingy on the barbecue tonight, so that was good. Bit of halloumi.
All right. What's that? What did you eat?
Lamb and halloumi salad.
What's halloumi?
Beautiful.
I've never heard of it.
Halloumi, fried cheese, man. Fried cheese.
Well,
next time you're down at the Greek shop in RTC, go and grab yourself some halloumi.
All right. Okay. Well, we might. If you want to send us a note or some feedback, send it to feedback@aussiemaxzone.com.au. That'd be great. All right. Now, Jay, you can kick us off with the first story. What's the news? What's the first news story we've got this week?
Well, probably a reasonably slow week in Apple news, and the biggest one, and I guess it has popped up again as it does every couple of weeks, is still around this low-cost iPhone. So around something that is going to be at least a plastic back, have colours, and look at, I guess, trying to tap that lower-cost market and get Apple, I guess, some greater market share where I think really where Android are capturing the market share is really a lot in that low cost area, and I think Apple want to get some of that action. So look, these rumours persist. There's lots of photos out of the rumoured phone from case manufacturers, etc. Colours in blue, pink, yellow, green, and white. So probably a little bit along the lines of the iPod Touch, I guess, and sort of following along that scenario.
Do you think that Apple will lose a lot of the normal iPhone sales? You know, like the ones with all the nice steel beveled edges or whatever they are. Like everyone's just going to go for the cheap stuff. Do you think that'll detract a bit from the brand?
Look, I think what they'll do is probably a little bit like the iPod Touch that was released a month or so ago. That was the cheaper version, I guess, and it had a smaller amount of memory in it. It also didn't have one of the cameras. So I think there'll be a little bit of differentiation there so that, if you do want to pony up the bucks for the proper iPhone, I guess, you get something more. And I guess with a lot of Apple products, there's probably that prestige factor of like, well, you've got the real iPhone or you've got the cheap iPhone. So,
well, I suppose I'll probably be going for the cheap one. It wouldn't. I don't know if I'd find the need to go for a higher. No price points as yet. I don't think that story didn't go into price pointing. I don't think.
No, I mean it's still very much a rumor, though. These people say that they have seen one because they're saying it feels sturdy and made of nice polycarbonate material, so it doesn't feel or look cheap. But again, it's all around rumors. But maybe for the kids, etc., where you don't really want to be coming out with $800-900 for a phone. If it was sort of more in the line of in the hundreds of dollars, or you could get it for free on a cheaper plan.
Yeah.
Maybe there's the opportunity there that they could be selling more phones. And look, again, it's all happened in the Apple have done it before, going back to the iPods, and I guess as recently as the iPad Mini. But yeah, it's always a question, I guess, if they're going to cannibalize their own sales, or they're able to get extra sales.
Yeah.
So certainly a lot of speculation on that one.
There is, and you're right. The story does read though as if these guys have got a hold of one of them. Well, that's very strange. It seems strange, doesn't it, that there's actually one out there in the wild, unless it was left in a bar stool. That's right.
That's right.
There's no indication that this one was left in the bar. It seems more like this one was pulled right off the assembly line, doesn't it?
Yes, in Chang's Wong's or wherever they make them.
Wherever they're, yeah.
What do you think, Garth? You think this is going to be a good thing, or
a good
what?
thing? Yeah, I think it might actually be. Okay. I think it's a good thing for consumers. In the long run, isn't it a good thing for Apple? I think that's, we've got two separate questions there. For consumers, I think it's a good thing to give them an option to get into iOS at a lower price point. The whole sort of discussion around, whether or not Apple should be doing this is very centric. It's all around the US market. And in the US market, it seems that, they have these very fixed price points for the initial cost.
Yeah.
And there seems to be little sort of discussion or thought about the ongoing price of plans, which is a little bit different to the way it is in most of the rest of the world, I'd say, where we're thinking more about. Sorry?
Do you think just the US, though? Maybe what about China and some of those emerging markets where the current price of the iPhone is just prohibitive for some?
Oh, absolutely.
They are selling Androids hand over fist there just because they are so price conscious.
Exactly, and that's pretty much my point, Jace. The discussion that we hear coming out of the US around this topic is very much focused, is very much based upon the fact that, hey, you can already get an iPhone for $0 or $100 or $200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They use that sort of thinking to inform the discussion to a great deal, I think. Whereas the real costs are, $800, $900, $1,000 or whatever. It's built into the contract. You don't see much discussion coming out of the US around the real cost of these phones. And that's why I think these, lower price point plastic backed phones. And hey, the GS4 that I've got here now, it doesn't feel that cheap to me. It feels really quite nice in the hand. I swapped out the back for a Samsung case back.
Yep.
And the whole thing, it's really, plastic can be okay.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Well, I know
Plastic.
my first phone was the Samsung Galaxy S4, and although I hated it with a passion, it did
S4,
yes, Galaxy.
S2 maybe.
Oh, what was it? S2, yeah, the first one, about a couple of years old. Yeah, I hated it that much.
GS4's just come out, yeah.
Yeah, I hated it that much. I didn't even know what it was. So I've forgotten all about it. But until I got my iPhone 5, which I'm absolutely happy with, everything is just working, so I'm happy. But yeah, that thing was plastic, and it was light. It was lighter than normal. But I do like the heaviness in the hand of a phone, and I don't think I'd want to go much thinner than the iPhone 5. But yeah, I do like the heaviness. I think it's good. It's you're holding something, not just playing around.
I think one thing you're going to get with these plastic phones, which I will like, a lot of it does come down to how it feels in the hand, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it really
right.
does come down to that. Yeah. But I remember thinking. I remember a friend of mine saying, "Oh, my iPhone 3GS is thinner than your iPhone 4, simply because of the way that shape that it had, that curved shape."
Yeah, but I don't think you want
the
it
edge
too
bevel.
Thin. Yeah, I don't think. And I think too thin.
I think these plastic iPhones could be really, Then again, Apple are not adverse to really cutting back and limiting and underperformance in terms of what will they choose to put inside it. That's where they're going to save money. That's where they're going to make it cheap.
Yeah.
The actual hardware they put in there, and they're not adverse to putting in 2 or 3 generations ago's processors. You know what I mean?
Well, that's right.
So I think we'll be disappointed when we see how small the processor is or how far back it's from.
Yep. Well, I suppose
the other thing, sorry,
I was going to say they got to cut the corner somehow. They got to cut the price somehow. Like you're getting it from what as you said, $800 down to say $300 or whatever it might be, or even less. Then the changing the case can't be where it stops. It's got to stop. The internals have to be pulled back as well. So you're right there.
Pulled back as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we might be still looking at a the low cost iPhone. I don't know that we're going to see a 300 price point. We're still probably typical Apple. It'll be still higher than that. It'll be like 400 or 500.
It'll be less expensive.
It'll be less expensive.
What happened?
I remember watching. Might be say $200 less expensive. So outright in the US, it's it's a $0 phone in their terms.
I remember watching the launch.
The real cost may be $700 still. So
I remember watching the launch of the iPhone 3, and I remember it was $300. But then when you actually went to get one on a plan and whatever, it ended up costing you whatever it was anyway. So I'm not sure where these magical figures come from that they show off at the launches. But anyway, but something that keeps rearing its ugly little head is this iWatch. The rumours are still abound. They're still going around and around and around. And I pose the question to you because we're seeing things about patents and Apple's patenting this and patenting that to do with the iWatch and all this sort of stuff. Do you think that they're patenting something that is just a figment of their imagination, and some way down the track they might get to it, they might develop it, but they're patenting it now to stop other people from jumping on board? What do you guys think, Jace? Any comments on that?
Look, I guess just these little bits and pieces that come out. So this week it was the story from Patently Apple around a flexible battery shape. A few weeks ago it was around flexible glass. So I think at the moment there's an aspect of people just looking at anything they can find to maybe even wish a iWatch into existence.
Yeah.
Probably combined with, if there's enough interest in there, maybe it will be another hobby for Apple, like the Apple TV. It will.
Well, that's gone quiet, hasn't it? Yeah. Well, the Apple TV has gone quiet. I haven't heard a rumor for that for ages. Not since probably since Steve Jobs left us.
You mean the real TV as opposed to the hockey puck Apple TV?
That's right.
Screen.
Yes, with the screen.
Yeah, that one hasn't been around. I think the iWatch rumors have replaced the Apple TV rumors. So
probably.
one lot happening at once.
Yeah, well, that's right. So, well, is there any rumours on another release of the Apple TV, a refresh of that? I think that there's nothing in the pipeline there either, is there? Not that I've heard, anyway.
Not too much, no.
Applications on they'll open up the apps for that one. I think we'll see that in October, along with the cheap iPhone and the iWatch. I'm gonna put it down now.
Oh, so
mid-October, we're going to see an iWatch, we're going to see the cheap iPhone, and we're going to see not an Apple TV as such as in terms of a big TV. We're going to see a hockey puck, but they're going to open up the App Store to that device.
They need to do
What about
to some degree?
I was going to say, what about media deals? I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's on a screen or whether it still be the hockey puck, it's actually a la, I guess, what they did with the music industry with iTunes. There's this whole thing at the moment. You may be fueled by BitTorrent around, and we discussed in the last podcast, I want to watch, what I want when I want type of thing around a la carte, to say, well, in Australia, we've only got Foxtel, but maybe I don't want all the channels. Maybe I just want, Game of Thrones or whatever else. Can I buy just that series rather than a whole channel, or can I buy a channel? So maybe further deals with the content providers. I mean, with music, it happened with iTunes. It's just happened with iTunes Radio. That if Apple could pull that off, that would give them, really a lot of pull in that area.
I think that
absolutely.
Yeah, I think they've got to really sort out what they're doing with this little hockey puck Apple TV, because I've got one, and although I love it and I use it all the time, I've only pretty much got one sort of a use for it, and that is for screen sharing and sending to the screen from my phone. But I've had to buy another product just to play AVIs or things like that I've got on a server. I think they have to develop and let it open it up so we can get in there and play what we want to play. Like, people have AVIs. Just because Apple doesn't like the AVI, you can't play it in the iTunes or anywhere like that. So it just refuses to deal with it. I think they've just got to let go. I think they've got to get over it and let us, like the Apple TV version 2, the guys from XBMC jailbroke it, and you can put the XBMC on there, which made that thing worth its weight in gold. It's beautiful. But yeah, so hopefully, Garth, you're right, and hopefully that at the October we might see some action. A firmware upgrade, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jason, I think you've nailed it on the head there with the content. The content deals that they managed to do. The thing that's held me back here in Australia and buying one of those Apple TVs is the fact that we have so much less than what they even currently have in the US now. With what they can do. They've got Netflix and I think Hulu and various couple of different sport things there that we just don't have access to here.
Well, for me,
and it really does.
Yeah, that wasn't an issue for me.
Value that device.
Well, yeah, that wasn't an issue for me. I wanted it for the screen sharing, the mirroring, and all that sort of stuff. I thought that was my need. But because I'm not a big movie fan, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't really watch too much TV shows. So
you're just waiting for MasterChef to come on at Glenn, and that would sell you, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Well, you can do that already. You can do the show by show thing already.
Catch up.
Just go and buy it in iTunes.
Well, that's right.
It's the channel by channel thing that's really the holdout there. And even if they opened up the App Store, for us here in Australia, no further contact deals. If they opened up that you could get various apps on there, games and even things like ABC iView and the BBC iPlayer apps that you can currently get, that'd be fantastic on a device like the Apple TV. I know you can do the whole screen share already, but
and that's
but to have
pretty
those
much
things directly on there, I think would be great.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how I do it. Is I get it up on the Mac Mini, and I'll just share it to the thing. Same with me iTunes. But anyway, what's going on with this Apple? What's this next one, Jace? OS X Mavericks Developer Preview 3.
Well, I guess in the last day or so, both for OS X Mavericks, so the Mac operating system, and iOS 7 had beta 3 drops. So updates to the new versions or new betas of both of those products. So with Mavericks, which is the desktop version, that only dropped this morning. So there's only a few stories coming out around that. Really, it seems to be more at the moment around bugs and performance fixes. The features that are being spoken about have already been released. So maybe nothing too exciting there at the moment. But who knows, over the next couple of days, things could be discovered that Apple have changed or put in there.
So
similarly, I guess, sorry.
I was just going to say, so for those who don't know, and probably maybe including myself, so OS X Mavericks, that is is it a code name, a working title, or the actual name of the iOS 7? Do we know?
It's going to, no, that's of OS 10. So where the current version is Mountain Lion, it's the next iteration of OS 10. So we go from Mountain Lion to Mavericks. So it will be,
right.
What are we on 10.8 now? It's 10.9 of OS 10.
Right. Okay.
That is the final answer. Mavericks is it.
That's where it stops.
That's right.
That's where it's done.
Was not Sea Lion.
No, you reckon that's it? What are they?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Are they going down a new path with names? Like, what's a Maverick? What's that signify?
It's an inspirational beach in California. So it's places within California that inspire them.
Right.
So whether or not it's inspirational to you, Glenn, is irrelevant.
No, well, I just keep thinking of
it's a beach that is inspiring for them, apparently.
Right. Okay.
They've run out of cat names. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I could have gone
cat names
Fluffy
that they wanted to
something.
use anyway.
All right, so the OS X Maverick launches for the general public this fall. Oh, with new maps and iBook apps. Cool. Significant battery life, scrolling and overall performance adjustments and power user features. Yeah, so that's all right. Cool.
So that was all the stuff that was announced at WWDC, which we covered off. So that would be quite exciting to see that through. iOS 7 beta version 3 came out, and probably the biggest announcement, I guess, again, as well as bug fixes and performance, is where there was Helvetica Neue Ultralight. So a nice looking font, but the Ultralight obviously very thin, and using a white font on a light background, there was some discussion around the legibility of that. They've now moved to Helvetica Neue Regular instead of Ultralight. And that seems at the moment to be the biggest story. So for all the font zealots out there, maybe some excitement.
You font zealots.
From what I've read, there's been some minor changes. I think in the weather app again. For some reason, they're very obsessed with the weather app.
Aren't they?
They are. In the calendar, there's been some changes. So I think if you've got appointments on days, there's little grey dots that appear, etc. So look, again, it's going through some refinement. And hopefully by the time it comes out, they'll have all those little bugs ironed out and have everything working just sweetly.
All right. Yes, sorry,
I've seen mention that there was some accessibility improvements in Beta 3 as well, but I don't know what those are at this stage. But hopefully they're there and they're good. I think the main point is the bug fixes maybe. I don't know, has there been much feedback yet as to whether or not it is a little bit more responsive on some of the older devices and so forth?
I've heard conflicting versions. Someone said it was acceptable performance on an iPhone 4, and then someone else is saying that it runs horribly on a 4S. So, look, I don't know who to really listen to at the moment. And again, it's the beta version, so I think that's yet to be seen.
Now, you might have to help me with this next one here. The Apple has hired Yves Saint Laurent.
Yves Saint Laurent. Former. So a former CEO from the fashion house Yves Saint Laurent to a new position yet to be defined, working on special projects as a vice president, reporting straight to CEO Tim Cook.
Special projects.
Paul Geneve, former CEO of fashion house Yves Saint Laurent. So Interesting story. The only take I can really have is maybe we'll look for very well-dressed presenters at the next keynote, and maybe Phil Schiller will need to tuck his shirt in now.
Well, yeah,
I think that's the special project is Tim Cook's outfit. That could be it.
Very sharper suits.
Yeah.
No, I think this guy is basically not to use a demeaning term, not meant this way, but basically a bean counter from Yves Saint Laurent. I don't know how much of a fashion statement he'll be able to help, or how much he'll be able to add or contribute to the overall, fashion or desirability of the Apple product. But yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Now, if you're into your tech podcasts and you're into the good ones from Australia, like the Aussie Mac Zone, Aussie Tech Heads, and a few others, you can go to the AussieTechRadio.com and listen to the Shoutcast 24/7 and get your guts full of tech podcasts from there. Get it on the app. You can go to AussieTechRadio.com. All the instructions are there. Download the app on your phone. Now, also each week. Now we're going to give away an $20 iTunes gift card, and it's all thanks to IT Help for You. Now these guys, they were with us back in the before this show was rebooted, back in the old days. So good on you, IT Help for You. Thanks for coming back on board with us. Now these guys are in Penrith, and they'll look after you. They'll look after everything from fixing your Mac to helping you network your stuff and do everything. So go have a look at their webpage if you're down that way. IT Help for You, which is the number 4 and the letter u.com.au. And
importantly, Glenn, they are an authorised Apple Service Centre, so obviously really very relevant to our podcast.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely.
So they'll know what's going on first time and all the time. Now, I think we have got a viewer question. So IT Help for You, they've sponsored our viewer question for the next couple of weeks. And but what you got to do, I forgot to tell you what you got to do to win the iTunes $20 gift card is jump onto the iTunes and review Aussie Mac Zone, or jump onto the Facebook and leave us a review on the Facebook. So under the video or the audio, when it appears on Facebook, you can comment on that, or go to the iTunes and review on the iTunes. In the relevant audio or video. Okay, that's easy. So if you do it on the iTunes, can you screenshot your actual before you hit submit so we know it's you? Cool. Probably easier on iTunes. Do that. All right, now the viewer question. Oh, viewer questions. What do we got? Where is it? Hang on. I've got it here somewhere. It was for someone from Victoria. It was George from Bendigo. Now he has. Now, I'll read this out. I'll read it as, I have networked my Apple up with other Windows machines. I've made an alias for the network folder, put on the desktop. Oh, that's what he wants to do. Okay, so how can he network, the Apple Mac with the Windows machines? Now, we do have an answer here. This is probably quite...
We did our research. We're good like that.
We did, yes. We have an answer. And it works.
We had to do our research because we didn't know off the top of our heads.
No, we didn't.
No, look, it is quite lengthy. So I can say, look, Jace, you can go through it in a sec, Jace, but it is quite lengthy. So it's all in the show notes. Okay, it is all in the show notes. I can tell you it works because I've done it here, and it works. I can connect to my Windows machine, so it does work. Jace, briefly, can you explain, please, if you can?
I'll go through it at a very high level, but. Thank you to Lifehacker. Again, most people have solved the problems that are out there. So we got some nice little workflow from Lifehacker as to how to do that with some screenshots. So at a very high level, if you go into the Finder menu on your Mac and select Go, and you can choose Connect to a server, you need to know either the IP address of your PC or the name of it, and you type in where you have a box of Server Connect, SMB:// and either the IP address or the name of your Windows server. Again, best to run through this in the show notes where it's outlined.
I would
with
use
all pretty pickies.
I would use the IP address. I'd use the IP. It's easier. Yep.
And username, password, and I'll also save that. So in Apple where you have keychain to securely store your passwords. Store it in there, otherwise you're going to be asked for it each time, which is a bit of a pain.
Yep.
And look, once you're in, you'll get to choose which share folder you want to mount on your Mac, and you basically can do a drop down, pick out the folder that you want, and it's all sweet. So the particular folder or directory that you're after will be mounted on your Mac, accessible from your desktop, available in your Finder. So if you then need to share files, maybe you've got your videos stored on that server, it's all sweet.
Yeah, well, it does work because that's how I've got mine connected, and it is easier. I found that if you did make a static IP on your Windows machine, you make that static, so you can just type in SMB. What was it? SMB : / and then your IP address, and that does make things easier. And you also obviously have to know the Windows login and password that you're trying to access to. So, but it does work. It's easy, and then I can because that's what I do with the show with the audio. I just record the audio, save it, and then just drop it straight into the Windows folder for further processing. So it does work. It's good. All right, that's a tough question from George, but hopefully, you can understand that. But more importantly, there are the show notes that just go to aussietechheads.com.au /podcast and navigate your way to show notes Aussie Mac Zone, and you'll be able to get links and that actual article that Jace pulled out there. Oh.
And of course, Glenn, if George was stuck and he was in Sydney, he could go to Michael at IT Help for You at Penrith, who I'm sure would be able to solve those types of issues.
I'm sure he
Definitely
could.
would have helped him out with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. But jump onto the webpage, get the show notes, and we just want to thank again, Michael and ithelpforyou.com.au each week for the iTunes gift card. So get involved there, people. Get involved. All right. What are we moving on to now? Some tips, some app tips. I don't know. Let's go, Garth. We'll go with you first, Garth, because I don't know what you've got.
Alrighty. Tonight we are using Zoom.us, and all the other nights that we've done this on the podcast to both do the video conferencing and audio. So Hangouts is out there, Skype is out there, but we've been using an app called, what's the full name? Zoom Cloud.
Well, it's actually Zoom.us is where you'll find it.
Zoom.us is the website, yeah.
Where you'll find it.
So if you go to Zoom.us, you'll be able to, get links to download the Mac version, the Windows version, the Android, or the iOS version. So,
yeah,
we're all dutifully using our Macs at the moment, I'm sure, aren't we, boys?
Yes, but, we are.
Absolutely.
It's actually a really, really good client that I had not ever heard of before coming on this podcast.
It is. So it's stable.
US, yeah.
Nice and stable. And as Garth said, there is an app for it, so you can do it on the app. It's in the App Store. It's called Zoom Cloud HD Meetings. So it's free if you want to do a meeting that's less than 40 minutes. But if you want to do something more than 40 minutes, I think it's like $10 a month or about $99 for 12. So it's really, really good. Like we've purchased a subscription obviously because the shows go longer than the 40 minutes. So it's good. It's great. We were pushed into finding an alternative to Google Hangout because each time the camera changed from speaker to speaker in the Google Hangout, there's this little blurry, I don't know, half a second or something like that, or less than half a second, but it would be a low res version and then the higher res version would click in. But with the Zoom.us, it's just straight out, it's just a great picture all the time. It's you can still chat, so you can still do your chat bit and all that sort of stuff. You can invite everyone, other people. I'm not sure what the maximum is actually, but I'm sure that you can invite more than 3, 4. We've had 5, I think, on the Aussie Tech Heads podcast. So yeah, that's good, Garth. Good work. So you've got that on your desktop now. That's what you're using.
That's right. Yeah, running on the Mac. And look, my bandwidth is not the greatest here. It really isn't. I'm on like a ADSL 1 connection, and it does a pretty damn good job for that, I reckon.
It does. It is nice and clear, so that's not too bad. That's pretty good. All right, and Jace, did you have a tip or app of the week?
I certainly did. So my product of the week, I guess it goes with an app, is from Garmin. And Garmin have the Navigon software. That's not my pick. What they've actually now gone and done is they're producing a portable heads-up display that works with Bluetooth-equipped smartphones. So you can turn your car into a fighter jet. Now, I know some higher-end luxury cars have this in place. So this is where you get things like the speed and other information that comes up on the windscreen as you look forward, as a heads-up display, as the name would imply, that as you see, like in fighter jets.
Yeah.
So $129.99. I'm assuming that's US, where the unit sits on the dashboard, and
yeah, that's sweet.
It looks pretty cool from the from the picture, and it will tell you distance to the next turn, current speed limit, estimated time of arrival. So I guess from a safety factor as well, if you're sitting there with your iPhone on your lap or something trying to work out where you're going, it's probably a safer way of using your navigation on your iPhone.
Yeah. So did you?
That's a pretty awesome little pick there, Jace, I reckon.
It looked pretty cool. I just found it when looking through today. So it integrates with Bluetooth as well. So if your car stereo supports that, you'll get your turn-by-turn directions through the stereo.
Now, it's funny that you actually picked that one, because for the first time today I heard on the radio, the first time I've heard it, that an advertisement for an advertisement for a HUD. It made me prick my ears up. And I went, oh, HUD, what's that? And they went on about it. So they are starting to sell them locally. So they must be starting to gain some traction. But yeah, because I went HUD, get yourself a HUD. What the hell's that? But yeah, that's cool. Sits on your dash. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's great. I love it. And what was that? About $199.
$129.99.
Oh, it's even better.
Cheap at half the price, Glenn. Cheap at half the price.
Go get it.
You got to wonder how well it works, don't you? If it works, then it's fantastic.
Yeah. Sorry, Jace?
With the Aussie dollar at the moment, it'll probably end up being $199 by the time it comes here.
Oh, what happened to those days? Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from Garmin, though, you would expect the quality to be good. They normally produce pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I wonder how big you can get the display. I wonder how, because that sits in the middle of, because do you have to, I think I read, it's best if there's a bit of film that you stick to the windscreen, and that helps with the reflection of the.
Yeah, it says the transparent light film, it's attached to the inside of your windshield to better reflect the heads-up display is included.
But that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Now listen, if I get I've ordered a gadget from Honkers. Now if I get this gadget, whenever I get it, I'll review it on this show, okay? I won't tell you what it is, but it's something that sits on the dashboard as well. So there you go. Have a think about what that is.
Is it one of those monkeys with a bobbing head?
No, it's Elvis. No.
It's a pair of dice, isn't it, Glenn?
Bit of the fluffy ones, it is, yes. I'll confess, yes. All right. Now, just before we go, I've got a tip or an app. I've got an app of the week. And my app of this week is something that I use, obviously, and it's really, really good. Now, it's not free either. But there is a free version, but the paid version is a lot better. Now, it's called Quick Sale. Now, this Quick Sale is an invoicing tool for your iPad. I've got a couple of screenshots here for those dudes on the video. Now, it is really, really good. It allows me to invoice on the spot. So I go out to someone's home, I can invoice on the spot, I can email on the spot, and also emails with a PayPal link on the spot. So obviously you can get paid on the spot through PayPal in the email. So it works really, really good. Now, some of the features, I'll read some of the features out to you. PDF invoices with custom logo, item photo, categories, favorites, full of partial payments, item discount, sales report, email sales reports, export sales reports, payment supports, backup and restore. So it actually will back up to the cloud as well, which is great. You can get it to have a scanner. You can get a barcode scanner that you can plug into it as well. If you've got like a 1,000 inventory items, you can get a scanner, integration with multiple credit card processing apps. I just use PayPal. That's just easy. Support for two tax rates. So obviously this is built for overseas, so perfect for GST. There's only the one tax rate unless you're selling, I don't know, what's got two tax rates over here? Booze? Petrol? I don't know. So that's good. In the paid, look, the paid version has another plethora of features. So it only works for the iPad. Unfortunately, I suppose I'd like it to work for the iPhone, but the iPad, it's good. It's good, and so just invoices on the spot. That's what I find excellent. You email the invoice. It's like look, there's FreshBooks. You know, they've got a nice little setup going. You might have heard of FreshBooks. However, it's a monthly fee. So I researched and searched for this one. It does exactly what I want it to do. Pretty much the same as FreshBooks, but excuse me, but there's no monthly fee. You buy it once, away you go. See you later. So that's my pick of the week, which was Quick Sale. So you just find that in the App Store. So there you go. Cool. All right. Now I think we're just about at the end of the show. Does anyone else have anything else that they need to talk about tonight?
No breaking news this week, I don't think.
No, I think that's about it. It was a bit slow, as you said, Jace, on the news front. But look, we'll bring you the stories anyway. We'll bring you the rumours, and we'll bang on about apps and whatever else.
iWatches and whatever else.
That's right. That's right. All right. So don't forget the iTunes $20 voucher. Go and review us on iTunes, please. And for your efforts, you can win every week. So what we're going to do is we'll probably just put the names in the barrel. And I don't know if you've seen my barrel, but I have got a barrel, and we can draw them out. We'll draw one out each week for the next couple of weeks at least. And that's all thanks to ithelpforyou.com.au. So that's as it sounds, but the number 4 and the letter U. Okey-doke. Or just go into the show notes if you can't work that out. All right, so that's about it. Don't forget the Facebook and the YouTube, and yeah, good stuff. If you want to contact us, it's Glenn, Jason with a Y, or Garth at AussieMacZone.com.au, or our Twitters. Glenn, I'm at Aussie Tech Heads, Jason's at Jason with a Y Wormsley, and Garth at iBlindTech. All right, boys. Thanks very much.
Nice one, guys. We'll see everyone next week.
See you, Garth.
Thanks a lot, boys.
See you, Jason. See you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See you later, guys.
Ta-da for now.